Hi, everybody. I'm Stephanie Priest. I am the CEO and founder of Ignite Fitness and Kickboxing, as well as the Ignite Method. Today, we are going to talk about part 4, hormones. So we're going to continue the series over the next couple of weeks. So that way you guys have a really good understanding of your body. We've talked about sugar. We've talked about the importance of sleep. Sleep is so important. We've also talked about, what else? Ghrelin and insulin. And we've talked about lots of different hormones along the way. And we're going to continue at that pace today. So we really believe in focusing on wellness and lifestyle and sustainability. And we've been able to help thousands of people get to the other side of their journey by making certain that they understand that this truly is about lifestyle. This truly is about how is it that we make this wholeheartedly about you and what it is that you can do every single day to make yourself just a little bit better. So make certain that you're following us on Facebook at Fit Free and Fabulous, or that you're following us on Instagram. Make certain that you like this page here and you like this channel that we have on YouTube, so that way we can continue bringing you amazing content. So I want to talk about eating more today, because I think that eating more is really important. And I think that eating more in combination with your day-to-day hormone cycles is also really important. And I know that you're going to be like, hey, wait a minute, Steph, what does eating more in alignment with my hormone cycle, what does that actually mean? Well, let me tell you. So we're going to talk a little bit about nutrient timing today, right? Nutrient timing is really important when you think of it from the perspective of in the morning, what my body needs is very different from the evening and what my body needs in the evening. So the way that I build my nutritional profile should almost align with what it is that my hormones need. So think about this. Typically, when you first wake up in the morning, most of us jump up, we grab a cup of coffee, we pour all that amazing like sugary creamer into it, and we relish in the sugary creamer as opposed to the actual coffee itself. We've all done it. I know it. And I know lots of you do it. And that's totally cool. But we're going to talk about the impact that that has on your body. And then a couple hours later, we go ahead and we grab a bar. Typically, those are processed, right? Not like super clean. They have lots of sugars in them, because one of the things as Americans that we don't do is we don't pay attention to our sugar intake, which is astronomical. The average American takes in 3 to 4 times the amount of sugar that they should every single day. And what we recognize is that when we take in all of that sugar, our blood glucose levels spike, our insulin levels spike, then we have all kinds of crazy stuff going on in our body. So I've said this to you before, I'll say it again. My job as a coach is to take you from these highs and lows and to minimize those highs and lows. So through this series, that's what our goal is. We're looking at it from the perspective of sleep. We're looking at it from the perspective of sugar. We're looking at it from the perspective of our ghrelin hormones. There's lots of different hormones that we have in our body, and you can't have one that is balanced and others that are unbalanced. If a couple of them are unbalanced, all of them are going to be unbalanced. So back to our daily eating habits. So I got up, I had lots of coffee and I had lots of sugar. And then after I had lots of coffee and I had lots of sugar, I sat down and I had a whole bowl of oatmeal, and I added in a bunch of fruit and berries. And then I also threw some fats in there, because I mean, who doesn't love like some fats in their oatmeal? I do. So I put all that in, and then I had a couple hours later a bar, right? That's where we had gotten to the bar. So I've had a bar. It's probably processed, right? Got some sugars in it, all that stuff. Then a couple hours later, I probably do something, relatively healthy. I do a salad, and it's got some protein on it, moderate amounts of protein on it. And then I don't eat again until it's time for dinner. And then I grab takeout, because I've got to take the kids to soccer. I've got to pick another one up from karate. I still have to make certain that everybody's ready for the next day, that I'm ready for the next day, that baths are done, that teeth are brushed, and all that good stuff, right? So fast food is just easier, and we're just going to grab whatever it is that we grab. We're just going to order a pizza, because that's like super easy, and we're just going to do that today. So this is what I want to say. The first thing is kudos to you, because 80% of your day was relatively good, right? We had some missteps in there, but pat yourself on the back, because in the morning you got up and you were attempting to do like healthy with some oatmeal and some fruit and some healthy fats, right? You were picking better options than if you went through the drive-through. and you grab some kind of breakfast sandwich of some sort, right? So you are making cognizant efforts to do the right things. But how is it we can tweak this and make it a little bit better and have it in alignment with what our natural rhythm is and the natural needs of our hormones are, right? So give yourself a high five, because for 75 to 80% of the day, you did your best, right? And that's where we need to start, is by appreciating the fact that we are doing better every single day. You're eating every couple of hours, which I think is awesome. Okay, so this is what I really want to drive home with you. I really want to drive home with you the idea and the concept of eating until you're satiated, right? Cognizant consumption. And I mentioned this a couple of YouTube videos back, of whenever it is that we're eating, after you're done eating, really think about, could I go work out now? And if I couldn't go work out now, then I've probably eaten too much. Or could I go work out now? Do I have the energy to do so? And if the answer is no, maybe I've underconsumed, right? So there's a delicate balance in overconsumption and underconsumption. We really want to look at food as fuel in order for us to be able to make it through the day. So think about it, right? In the morning, whenever you get up, you need to be energized. You need to be ready to take on the day. So you absolutely need proteins. You absolutely need those healthy fats and a little bit of a carb of some sort. So typically what I will do is I will have heavy on my protein, right? A heavy amount of protein, a moderate amount of fat, and then a moderate amount of carbs. Because carbs, especially if they're starchy, right? They're going to spike my blood glucose levels up, especially if I've had coffee with all that amazing goodness of creamer in it, right? I've doubled up and I've already spiked my sugars for the day. So inevitably what happens is when those sugars fall, right, then I get really hungry again. My ghrelin hormone never turns off because I'm hungry again, because now I've spiked and I've dropped. So now I have to consume again. So when you're thinking about building your day, think about what it is that you need in the morning. We absolutely need some healthy fats. We absolutely need a hefty amount of protein, and then we absolutely need a moderate amount of carbohydrates. Then a couple hours later, I'm a big believer in eating every couple of hours from a timing perspective in alignment with my hormones. A couple of hours later, I tend to have a protein snack, right? It could be hard-boiled eggs with a little bit of healthy fat in there. There are lots of different options that you guys can have from a protein perspective. It doesn't have to be anything that's hard. In fact, they have boiled eggs at the grocery store already peeled. I mean, I don't know how much easier it gets than that. I sometimes will have 2 or 3 of them, and then I'll have one yolk as opposed to all 3 yolks, right? If I'm really looking at my fat consumption for the day. So that would be like a snack for me. And then I go into my lunch. Now, let me again talk about lunch, right? I want to eat until I'm satiated. I want to make certain that if I were to go work out, I would have a phenomenal workout and then it wouldn't like throw on the mat, right? That's what I want to be able to do whenever I'm eating. I want to make certain that I'm satiated. So you'll notice that anytime that I eat, I often, particularly if it's a salad, it's going to be loaded with all types of greens and goodness. And then on top of that, it's going to have another healthy amount of protein in there. I get anywhere from 145 to 155 grams of protein a day to keep building my big old muscles. So work with a nutritionist, work with someone who's certified, who can absolutely identify what those numbers are for you from a macros perspective. Then a couple hours later, I make certain that I have another protein snack for myself. That could be a protein shake, right? A really great protein shake with some berries in it, with some kale in it, with all that beautiful goodness in it. Or it could be as simple as an Epic bar. I absolutely live and die by the chicken sesame Epic bar. It is amazing. So you can also try that, right? Again, I'm still staying in alignment with what it is that I need my body to do. For me, I don't work out in the evenings. I'm typically a morning workout kind of gal. So in the evening, I will have less from a protein consumption perspective and a little bit more of a carbohydrate intake at that point. And again, a moderate level of fats. So you'll notice that towards the end of the day, I'll have a little bit more carbohydrates in my load as opposed to the beginning of the day. Eat to be satiated, right? So when you are not eating to be satiated, right? That ghrelin, it's really like a gremlin, right? We've got a little gremlin in there. When your tummy is rumbling, that's ghrelin. That's one of the most aggressive hormones that we have. And then you're like, I'm so hungry. Try not to get to that space, right? The reason we get to that space is because we're not eating until we're satiated. So really think about that, being satiated, not over, not under, being right in that middle of satiation, and we'll kick that gremlin right where it needs to be kicked. The other thing is, think about, again, those goals. What is it you're trying to accomplish throughout the day? Do you need to have all of that energy in the morning? That's when I need my energy, not necessarily in the evening. But again, your circadian rhythm is very different from my circadian rhythm. So you really need to think about what that circadian rhythm looks like for you, because that is going to be in alignment with your hormones as well. So here's a couple of different things that I want you to think about. When you start the day off with high sugar and high carbs, right, you're going to have a spike in that glucose and in those sugars. And that's absolutely not how we want to start our day out. So really consider what I said about a moderate amount of fats, a really solid level of proteins for yourself, and then a moderate to light level of carbohydrates. Then a couple hours later, really look to that protein as an additional source. All of these things, right, those high sugars, they affect all of our hormones. When we are unbalanced at the beginning of the day, we are going to be unbalanced for the rest of the day. Okay. Now, this does not mean that if you happen to have a day where you're unbalanced in the morning, that you slash all four tires, right? If we happen to have an area of the day where we just swing and we miss really hard, that's cool. Swing again. Don't slash the other tires. You just swing again. And if you miss, that's okay. Pick that bat up again and swing one more time. The most successful baseball players only bat 500. That means they miss 50% of the pitches that are thrown their way. Can you imagine how amazing you would be if you just batted at 500? Swing and a miss. It's okay. We all swing and miss all the time. But consider that as you're moving forward. Make certain that you really look at that sugar intake. 25 grams a day is really what's recommended. So consider that. Minimize your reliance on processed foods. Food doesn't have to be hard. I said that earlier. You can literally grab a bag of eggs that is already peeled for you and shelled and cooked. And that's your protein, right? Snacks for the day. And then just pop out those yolks if you're really looking at your fats for the day. So think about that. Your timing of your nutritional intake impacts all of your hormones for the day, right? Your circadian rhythm is naturally set based on who it is that you are. If you have an imbalance in the morning, you'll naturally have an imbalance for the rest of the day. It doesn't mean you slash the tires. It means that you make an effort to do the best that you can. You swing and you miss. It's cool. You swing and you miss again. That's okay. You swing and you hit a home run. And that's what we're trying to do. We're looking for incremental improvement, just 1% every day, just a little bit better every single day. And that is what true lifestyle is about. That is what true wellness and holistic wellness is about. That is what sustainability is about. So we've talked a lot. Today we've talked about ghrelin and we've talked about cortisol. We've talked about insulin, right? We've talked about lots of different hormones, and we've talked about how instability in the beginning yields instability in the end. But when we start to build all of this together and become cognizant, not just of our wellness, not just of our nutrition, not just of our sleep, not just of our workouts, when we really start to understand how all of this works together, that's when we're able to find true wellness and really crush it. So I have had an amazing time sharing this stuff with you. I get all excited. I know, like, you can tell when I get excited because, like, I start to lift out of my chair and I use my hands a lot more. I just think it's so important for us to be able to share this information. If you enjoy this content, if you love this content, please make certain that you hit that subscribe button. Please, please, please hit that like button. So that way we continue to share more with you, to give you as much knowledge as we've learned over time, and to be able to create a huge community, sharing together. Think about how it is that you found out about what it is that we do. And if there's one video that has helped you to change your lifestyle at all, then can you imagine if you shared this with a friend and how it is that it could potentially change their life? Our job is to be truth tellers. And I'm so grateful that you tuned in today. You guys know the drill. Take it easy. And I can't wait to talk to you more. Have an amazing day.